What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between? It has been a long time since the last time I sat down and recorded a video. Nonetheless, I'm finally here with some more r/Tales from Retail. First up, we got a story called Lady is so mad we won't let her in after close that she leaves a bad review. This is my first time posting, so please bear with me. This week has been bitterly cold here in Canada, so the small family-owned business I work at has had slow sales. My coworker and I had been sitting, mostly chatting for about 2 hours because we simply had no customers and had finished our cleaning duties, etc. The store officially closes at 6, but due to the lack of customers, we turned the sign and closed at about 5:53. We were still in the store with the lights on and we were finishing the closing procedures. During this time, no one approached us. Once we were done, I look at my phone and it says 5:59, so I think it's okay for us to leave. I'm the store manager, so I'm allowed to make these decisions. We set the alarm, we start heading out the door when a lady comes out of nowhere and approaches us yelling, "It's not even 6 yet." We try to stay calm and politely say, "I'm sorry, we got through closing procedures quickly because sales were slow." She latches onto that comment and says, "Well, if you were gonna close at 5:45, you should have put your closing hours as 5:45 and not 6. We were baffled at this screaming lady, so we just apologized even though it was 6 by now, and she had the audacity to say, "Well, I just want to buy these, insert product name," and she keeps looking at the door expectantly as if we're going to just open it for her. Again, we apologize and tell her we can't open the store as all the systems have been shut down. She proceeds to yell, "You guys are very rude and I'm gonna write a bad review." Oh my god, you know they're in for it when they say they're gonna write a bad review. Minutes after all of this happened, she writes the following 1-star review. "I tried to go in the store at 5:45 p.m. when the store closed at 6 p.m. according to the door sign and the website. The cashiers were walking out and refused to sell me what I came for. Hard to find parking, service was rude. They should post that they close at 5:45 if they close at 5:45 and not turn people away." The review is obviously a lie. She did not get to the store at 5:45. I was furious to say the least. I immediately wrote the store owners to let them know, and they were understanding. The problem is, they left a reply to the comment up to me. I've yet to reply, and I'm debating whether to say something like, "Oh, thanks, we'll look into it," and ignore the comment, or go full on, "We have security footage to prove that you are in fact lying," but more politely, of course. What say you, Reddit, and now consequently YouTube? Personally, I say it's best to just leave things like this alone. I mean, if someone's that miserable that they have to go home and write a fake review, then I wouldn't get myself too involved in that, just let them live their own miserable life by themselves. Alright, up next we have a story that's called "Two-Faced Customer Furiously Complains About the Cashier to Me Over the Phone." I'm the cashier. So I worked summers at a super small pool and hot tub construction business in my hometown that also tested pool water and sold chemicals. On slow days, I'd work the lab, the retail floor, the cash register, and the phones all by myself. So a woman comes in to purchase some chemicals at the register. She pulls out a few coupons worth about $10 total. All the coupons expired a week ago, which normally I would accept, but for this particular promotion, management had instructed me not to accept any expired ones. I very politely and apologetically explained this to her. She told me that she totally understood and that it was no problem at all, but that she'd rather wait until she had a discount to buy products. This isn't uncommon for customers to do because pools are incredibly expensive to maintain, so we have frequent seasonal sales. So I take her items, wish her a lovely day, and she goes on her merry way. About 10 minutes later, I receive a call on the main line and answer it. "Good afternoon, Pools and Spas. My name is Redacted. How may I help you today?" "Hi, I was in your store earlier and I wanted to complain that your cashier very rudely refused to accept my coupons. I spent a lot of freaking money here, and I feel like they should have honored it." Completely taken aback, realizing that she doesn't know I also answer the phones, and also that we don't have name tags, so there's no way she knows it's me. "I'm sorry to hear that, ma'am. Unfortunately, our cashier doesn't have the authority to accept expired coupons. My manager is currently on a call, but if you give me your name and number, she can call you back in a few minutes to discuss this if you'd like. You know, your hours are terribly inconvenient for people who work full-time. I couldn't even get here until now. I don't think I'll be coming back here ever again. You've just lost a customer." You know, funnily enough, it's always the customers that say you just lost a customer that are probably the best kind of customers to lose. Next for y'all, I got a post called "My Worst Customer." Working in retail as long as I have, every single day I find a new worst customer, just so you guys know. Don't ever work retail if you do not absolutely have to. Late one evening of work, I had just gotten through a rush of making hoagies, slicing meats and cheeses on a slicer, and having a good time talking with my regulars. Everything's a mess, so I start cleaning and putting things away, saving the slicer for last. For any of you who know how messy those can get after cheese and multiple meats, I'm sure you understand the time and effort it takes to completely clean one of these. In walks who I now know to be a grade A Karen. As such, that shall be her name for this story. I do my usual greeting of, "Hello, need help finding anything?" She replies with, "Yes, I'd like a half pound of your smoked turkey breast, sliced as thin as possible." I inform her of the weight as I was still in the middle of cleaning the slicer itself. After a few minutes, she starts to get visibly grumpy. "Why are you taking so long? Why do you have to clean it? It's just going to get dirty again as soon as you slice my turkey." I sigh as it should be obvious and proceed to explain as simply as possible that it would cross-contaminate her food and the rest of the meat being saved if I sliced it with an already dirty surface. This seems to calm her down, so I finish the job as fast as possible. I then warn her that if I slice the turkey as thin as possible, it'll just be chipped mess. She replies with, "Yeah, whatever, just do it." I go ahead and start to slice, and as I warned, it was a chipped mess. As soon as she's able to see the produced chips, she starts to complain in true Karen fashion. "Why is it in a mess? I said to slice it as thin as possible." I replied with, "This is as thin as possible. I tried to I was interrupted. "No, I wanted slices. This happened so many times before. Who can I contact to get this fixed?" No, this doesn't happen all the time, as I know from future information. This is only the second time that she's been here, and the first time was for cigarettes only. I just say, "Okay, take a business card from the table there. It has both my boss's numbers on it, and let me redo this then." I start to pack up the shreds, as this is what we use for our sandwiches, so a tad extra won't hurt. "What are you doing with that? It's just gonna be thrown out, so I'll take it." I then reply with the malice I have been enduring from her with the best customer service voice I could mutter. "No, it won't be wasted. Don't you worry about that. Now just give me a minute to get a better setting for this." She's fuming, but stays silent for the rest of the time I'm slicing. She then gets some cigarettes after with a bit of a huff and puff because she can't remember what kind she gets, then leaves. One of the bosses says next time she throws a tantrum, she can be told to leave at the first signs. She comes in acting high and mighty every once in a while, but nothing I can't let go. Dumb Karen, am I right? And lastly, a post so perfectly titled, "Destroys his own order, blames me. I don't even know who you are." I work in a bakery at a large chain grocery store. I don't make cakes or cupcakes, but I do hand out orders to customers when they come to pick them up. Like most days, I was by myself, no department manager. This guy comes in and says he's here to pick up an order. Fine. I ask for his name and he tells me. He ordered 30 rose cupcakes in a full sheet box. I wheel them out to him on our rolling table. He picks them up and drops them into his cart, just dumps them. He then gets mad and blames me for dropping them. He then starts yelling at me because the cupcakes weren't exactly how he ordered them and that he needed them to be exactly right for his significant other. He insists I took the order, which was weird because the order wasn't in my handwriting. I had been there when he claimed he ordered them. I'd never seen this guy before, and trust me, I'd remember this guy. I show him the order form and he snatches it out of my hands. I'm trying to de-escalate and this guy keeps cursing at me. I casually place my hand on his cart and he jerks the cart away. The most I'm allowed to offer is 50% off, which I do. He wants none of it and refuses to take the cupcakes, cursing me out. At this point, I decide I've had enough and go get the manager on duty. As I walk back with the assistant store director, I fill him in on the customer, C, and warn him that this guy's in a mood. When the ASD and I get back to my department, the customer's opened the box and is messing with the cupcakes. The assistant store director introduces himself and asks what the problem is. I stand next to the counter with my best poker face on. Customer explains that he ordered them just so, that I took the order, and that I dropped them, yada yada. The ASD offers the customer cupcakes free of charge if he will leave now. The customer refuses, curses us out again, and says I'm never coming to redacted again, and leaves without the cupcakes. The assistant store director and I just look at each other. I told you he was something. ASD leaves and I wheel the cupcakes back to my department. All the adrenaline I'd been holding back released because I was concerned this guy was going to get violent. I know some martial arts, but I don't know how I'd fare against an angry fat guy who looks like he works with his hands. All the yelling and cursing and snatching things away had put me on edge. Once my hand stopped shaking, I made a note explaining why the cupcakes were still here and went back to work. About 15 minutes later, the phone rings and guess who it is? Ooh guys, I'm so excited. Post your guesses in the comments. I want to talk to the bakery manager. She's not in today, I told you earlier. Well, then who the hell did I talk to? That would be the assistant store director. Well, let me talk to him. I transfer him. A few minutes later, ASD pages me to the office. I was a little concerned, but nothing I couldn't explain. ASD gestures for me to take a seat. You're not in trouble. The customer called back and asked if the offer of free cupcakes was still valid. I told him they are not for sale to him at any price, and if he asks to any of us like that again, he will be banned from the store. I'm going to have to ask you to write a statement and sign and date it in case he goes to corporate. I do so, and then he wrote his statement on my paper and signed it. We chatted for a few minutes about it, and I went back down. The whole incident was caught on camera, further corroborating our accounts. Nothing ever did happen. I did keep a broomstick with an easy reach just in case he came back for vengeance for ruining his whatever, but I never saw him again. I was grateful ASD was a super chill guy who had my back the whole time. He saw the customer messing with the cupcakes and saw that he was trying to make me look worse. We did everything right. We were calm and polite. He was looking for a fight. I love it when things rhyme. I'm just glad it happened to me instead of my more timid coworker who sometimes has my shift. I can take abuse with a straight face. I don't know how she would have fared. We ended up selling the non-damaged cupcakes individually in the case to get rid of them, so it wasn't a total loss for us. ASD got assigned to another store a few months ago, but he's still the best ASD I've ever had, and he is missed. And that was the only time I was concerned I was going to get into a fight at work. Alright guys, that is all I have time for today. Thank you so much for watching the video, and thank you to anyone who stuck with me through my long leave of absence. It's a whole nother story, but I'll make an update video soon if any of you care to know all that was happening in my personal life and why I haven't posted for 9 months, I think. If you did enjoy the stories today, I would appreciate leaving a like and subscribing if you haven't done so. Wow, I can't talk today. And subscribing if you haven't done so already, that would mean a lot to me. I guess I'm a little bit rusty with the outro. This is Birdman1216 signing off. And as always, links to all the original stories can be found in the description box below.